Hey, thanks for joining the Broken World. Today we are breaking down Westworld for Season 3, Episode 4. And so bring yourselves back online and we're going to break it all down. This is Broken World. This is Dylan.
Hi, I'm Quin.
Thanks for joining us today, whether you're new to the show or you're joining or you're returning. We're glad to have you along and hope that you'll join us live every Monday night, that there's a new episode at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop a new video. And check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. And you can... Well, I'm not going to say that part because it's scrolling below us, you know, about Patreon and all that jazz, the store and such. So special notes, just stay healthy out there. Things are getting crazier and crazier as time passes. So please follow your quarantine rules so we can all come into the outside.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you heard, because you have kids who are in grade school. No more school for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for Arkansas, anyway. Yeah, Arkansas, where we are. We're in Northwest Arkansas, if you don't know. I guess you want to go ahead and do the you know what? Do you remember?
The spoilers?
Yay.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I thought about a different thing for this, but I'll keep it simple. We'll try other things later.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. If you have not left yet, we are about to issue a spoiler alert for anyone out there who hasn't seen the episode. Your last chance to leave is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bram, 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 bram. Okay, if you haven't gone yet, I'm sorry. I gave you like 30 seconds.
Sayonara. But yeah, if you're sticking around, appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I try to say subscribe instead of subscribe, because it seems like every YouTube video I watch, they're like subscribe. I'm like, there's a B in there somewhere.
Subscribe.
Yeah, it's like the library. It's like library. There's an R in there. I catch myself doing it too. So it's like every time I do it, I'm like, cringy.
Where y'all at? We're at the library. Library? Well, wait, they're both Barry. There's 2 R's in Barry.
But it's B-R, not B-E-R. All right, so let's get into another type. Well, I was going to try to segue with grammar Nazis and another type of Nazi, but that's War World, I guess. I don't know. But... All right. So also, Westworld is rated for mature audiences. So anything you see or hear on the show, you probably will see or hear on this show as well, whether it be quotes or just us being dudes or having to show images or what have you. So just, be prepared or whatever if you get hung up on that kind of thing, if that type of thing bothers you. But yeah, you sat through the show. You can endure this.
So it's HBO mature, so they don't pull no punches.
Yep. Yeah, it's not AMC cable.
Nope.
It's a different caliber of cable, I guess.
Different caliber. All right. Well, I guess let's rate it so we can dive into it.
Let me do the episode intro.
Oh.
Or do you know this one?
No. Oh,
okay.
Wait, it's really short. I can't remember it though.
That's all right. Also, if you notice, Chris is not here tonight. I should have said that in the special notes. He is exhausted. He's worked a long day today. He is one of your essential worker delivery drivers, bringing you food so that you don't have to go outside into the infection and all that jazz. So, thank you, Chris, for doing the work that we don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he some drivers called in today, so he had to work extra long
Work some
hours, and
long
he is
hours.
exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he hasn't even had a chance to watch the show the episode yet. So he might not even chime in on us with chat or anything.
I looked up the description real fast.
Oh, cool. You got it?
Yeah.
And that title?
Ready? Okay. Ready for me to do it?
Yay.
Okay.
Episode 4, The Mother of Exiles. It's also really far away, so I'm like having to like zoom in on myself. And a shade is showing my forehead. Oh, okay. She says it's loading, but we'll continue.
I see that over here.
Okay. All right. The truth doesn't always set you free.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. And
yeah. They continue with the meme-worthy, inspirational titles here, descriptions.
So the way this episode started was, Williams lost his mind.
Well, we got to rate. We didn't rate it. What did you think?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Wait, it's my turn to go first on this show. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, because it's this show.
Yeah. He goes first on The Walking Dead show. So, I'm going to say there were some pretty awesome reveals in this one, and there was some pretty cool action. Action-ish, I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to say I felt rushed watching it, so I don't know if I absorbed it like I normally do, but I'm going to say a 7 or 8. It wasn't awesome, but there were some pretty good reveals.
Yeah. You say 8 because it like cut out on you saying 8.
7 or 8.
7 or 8, okay. I'm going to give it a good old 8.5 for me because it was the parts I really liked were the William scenes, but then there were some little things in the background that made my gears start turning, and I was like, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But I guess let's start with William, and then we can.
Yeah, dude is
gears turning.
Dude is losing it, or lost it already. Ain't no losing it. He's there. What is it with all these shows we're watching and people losing it and hallucinating?
Oh, like I think people can relate to this, and then they put it on TV. What else did he do? He shot up his house.
Yeah.
He still had hand fixes his little nubbies.
Yeah. Thought it was real until he ended up in the water upstairs, and then he's obviously in his mind because he is jumping around in his head or something. I don't know, but remember because he was downstairs and he was shooting things up, and then he looked up in the drips in the water, like when his wife killed herself, and he woke up in that tub with that gun. And so, I mean, they didn't do the bars on the screen, so it doesn't, I mean, not supposed to be a simulation at this point, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still shoddy because he's an unstable or unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it says that it's reconnecting over here. So we're recording, so we're just going to keep going as normal. If it reconnects, great. If not, then we will upload the entire episode later, like we had to do yesterday for yesterday's episode.
Cool. But yeah, no, Ed Harris, like great. Like he's one of my favorite actors.
Oh my gosh,
and I'm just like, geez. I don't know what else you can do in this show, but whatever it is, I'm down.
Yeah, this man, jeez. Like, he's good. Those, I don't know, just those looks he gives. It's just like it says so much. He's just got so much character in his face.
He saw his daughter, which It turns out she's a super hallucination. But like, there's certain points in there I was like, maybe this is real. And until Charlotte showed up, and then I was like, okay, all right, everything's just a hallucination, and Dolores isn't.
Yeah, because I thought maybe they were in because last time we saw him at the end of season 2, he was, which Lisa Joy, one of the showrunners, said that was actually far, far in the future. Her words, far, far in the future.
Far future.
Yeah. So at first I wasn't sure if they were, doing the diagnostics, or not the diagnostics, but the fidelity tests on him. And so, yeah. Also, I just noticed that my cat has been chewing on the end of my pen. So there's like little teeth marks. It's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so I thought maybe it was a fidelity check at first, but obviously not. It was the real world, and he's lost his mind. It was pretty cool to see the actress as his daughter back, and said that she would, she'd be waiting, she'd be patient. So it seems like something that he might be dealing with the rest of the season as well.
Yeah. Which also, kind of jumping slightly ahead, I feel like it's not the last time we're going to see him, simply because I feel like, what's his name? Bernard is going to put himself together a little team against Dolores. And he's going to be one of the ones to help.
Yeah.
Maybe, if he can put stuff together.
That's true. And there's scenes of him from the teasers that we haven't seen yet. Remember where he said, I know what I have to do. I have to go save the effing world. That clip. We haven't seen that yet. So
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. So let's follow the William trail, and then we'll jump to maybe Maeve and then Dolores and Caleb.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, Charlotte shows up and helps him shave, and which that, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that should have been a tip right there of who she was, because I want to say that in like season 1 or something, Dolores was helping her daddy shave or something like that. It seems like I have, like, that has happened, but of course, I didn't notice, because so yeah, she shows up and is telling him to get ready for the business meeting and all this kind of stuff. And he takes his sweet time. And of course he's got issues he's dealing with, obviously, other things. And it looks like it's not just dusk, but it's dark by the time he's ready to go. And she's waiting outside, and
it's like they're here, they're waiting for you.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was playing that man the whole time.
Drop the mic, truth bomb.
Yeah.
She was.
I'm just like.
That was some like expert level Charlotte Hale stuff right there.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, so the split Dolores theory is somewhat true. It is both Dolores, but it's not a Dolores Wyatt split. It is at a straight cop. It's a straight copy.
Copy of herself.
Yeah. Which is nuts. Because
I feel like but she copied herself, but she's putting herself in strategic places. So the Dolores that the Bernard brought back is obviously back in Dolores's body, and this is one of the other copies.
Yeah, OG Dolores.
Yeah, and the copies, it seems like when she was in the, what's that one place called? In the Forge, but I thought the Forge, like the database itself, had a name.
Oh.
Had all the books of everybody.
I just call it the library.
Books. Okay. She was in the library of the Forge, and went through and looked at certain people's books and saw their like how their mind is supposed to be mapped out and everything, like memorize it because she can do that because her brain just
she can
computer
recall.
brain
Yeah.
so fast. So that the other ones are just copies of her, but with the map out of their brain so that they can work the way they need to work. I think.
Yeah.
The ones that she's switching.
I wonder if they're a direct copy or if they're like a copy up to a certain point. That way they don't have like the encryption key to the Valley Beyond and the knowledge of the Forge and all that kind of stuff, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they have to because the one that was Charlotte Hale, she started asking, "Who am I?" Like, and trying to like figure out her identity of like.
Yeah, she was very much like season 1 Dolores.
Yeah. So, wait. I think that this is like way out there, but maybe that's the only way that you can make a copy of a host. Like you can't copy them as their current self. It has to be a copy of a former data upload from some point in time in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. That's a good question. That raises a lot of questions as far as like what we know about, making saves and copies and stuff like that on computers.
Where are we? Yes. So William she super tricked him. He was playing checkers. She was playing 3D chess, and got him put into an insane asylum, which is where he is.
Oh, she also like pricked his neck with something. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like she had a little. I wonder if that's to get a. I don't know. It's
I don't know if it was to take DNA or to put something in them.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I was curious about.
Like,
take DNA.
Yeah, like a blood sample.
That scene at the end of season 2, I think it kind of confirms Dolores 1.
Maybe.
I
don't know, because if he's seeing his daughter now and he's not a host, then who's to say that where he thought it was a fidelity test is him just in the nut house?
Huh. Oh, this show's too much.
So yeah, I mean, I was thinking like, or taking DNA, and I was thinking, oh, she may be getting a blood sample so they can do like Caleb, but she had to like inject. She had a significant amount to inject into Caleb, so that it's probably not that. But I don't recall them using any form of that before on anybody, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Unless she's planning on making, she's already got 5 bodies. Maybe she's got a copy of William, and that's what she needed, the sample, the DNA sample. Yeah, get a DNA sample so she could. Well, no, because Maeve's at the mortician and they've already done the 5 bodies. And Sirach was already at the house, so she can't go back and make another body. She's already got them, so that wouldn't be what it was for.
Oh no!
These people are good. It's a maze, amazing.
Okay. Well, jumping off of Charlotte, and because Charlotte was just at William's house this whole episode. She wasn't anywhere else.
Yeah.
Jumping off of them and going over to, I guess, Maeve.
Well, so when he is, I did want to say something about when he's actually in the, it was like, I can't remember the name of the place, but I'm trying to be sensitive and not say nut house again, but he's in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
He's in the hospital. And So for some reason you're all, oh, there it goes. You were blurry there for a second, but you're clear now.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's still seeing things, and even though he, willed it away, and so he sees Dolores, and even though, like at the very beginning, the also the excuse me, the subtitles said that it was Dolores saying William and not his daughter, just to put that out there. So he's just to establish that he is also hallucinating Dolores. And that's maybe why the reveal that Charlotte is Dolores really set him off, because he's already having that feeling like she's beaten him or beating him, or he's at playing against her. Yeah. So he's sitting there and he hallucinates her in the blue dress that we haven't seen in a long time. She comes out and she's asking him, say the one thing that you want to know, and it's, am I real? And that's what he said, right? Am I real? And then she said, this is the end of the game. So I took that to mean more than just that she had beaten him. I think it was an acknowledgement of him acknowledging that, accepting that part of himself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where he starts to put it back together and gets out and then goes to try to save the effing world.
Tries to.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll succeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really good. Like for a split second there when Dolores showed up and then she said that, I thought like maybe she is Ford or some incarnation of Ford or something. Because she was a hallucination, so that's why she knew what to say about that, because I don't think he ever said anything like that to her before.
Yeah, I don't think so anyway. Maybe. I mean, there's probably a lot of scenes between them that we haven't seen yet that they could go back and do. I don't know. But
yeah. As
far as we know, as far as I know, but I don't know. I don't know if they covered that or not. I can't remember.
Oh, and his hospital suit was all white.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. So he came out in all black, and then his hospital suit was all white. So that might signify a change in character for him.
Yep. They like to do that with that color code and clothes.
They do. The white hats and black hats. From the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Yep. And Dolores has been wearing all black mostly.
With like a tinge of white.
Yeah. So I that's all I got on that. Just please show us more Ed Harris.
Please. That's all we ask for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dolores. Since we just got done talking about her creakiness.
Yeah.
She saw not a different side, but saw more of that super strategist come into play again that we've kind of seen since the beginning of this season, of her having a plan, but you're not knowing what the plan is until the last moment.
Yeah.
And plan B is always just to kill everybody. So I'm like, oh, this is, I kind of like it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if this is always going to work, because at some point in time, she's going to have to meet her match.
Yeah.
But
Maeve.
She does. Yeah, Maeve. Because it seems like her and Maeve both.
Well, I mean, she technically whooped Maeve this time.
Oh, yeah. Because there's 5 of her, and she was a dude.
Yeah. I can't remember. Kato or something. But the guy from Shogun World, I can't remember his name. But so this makes me wonder about where Caleb comes to play in it. whether it is a grand deception with him in the mix that she planned from the beginning to lure him into this because he was susceptible to that. Yeah. And that she never that she's not being upfront with him. She's just using him, or is this for real? And she's just adapting as she goes along now that he's part of the crew, because she needed him for that blood sample, because when she was in the hospital, when she was in the ambulance, they couldn't find a blood type or anything with her.
No.
So hosts don't have that, even though they do have like blood or whatever.
Yeah. I think that she's partly using him, but at the same time, she's like, I'm going to test the worst of humankind and see if they can become the best of their kind. And maybe all of them won't die, type of thing. Like, secretly. If not, she's just using him because he has a blood type and other things.
Yeah. And that's very interesting, too, that you say that, because about her finding some good humans that she can work with or live with, whereas last season she was all humans are bad, where this season she's surprised and actually, Caleb has become a big part, or is becoming a big part of her life seemingly. But in contrast, Sirach is straight up told Maeve, it's like, there's no world where we live together, but there's a different world for you. We'll send you over there happily. So
yes. Which is very, I don't know. It seems like him and Dolores are the kind of the same, but different.
Yeah.
Like their means of going about things are the same, but they have different end goals for wanting the same thing.
Yeah. And that's basic storytelling, where your hero and your villain are basically different versions of the same person. They almost have the same goal, but they have different motivations type thing. Does that make sense? And they're defined by each other. Like Joker, I need you. What would I do without you?
But I don't know. I feel like, and then I don't know how to feel about Sirach. He, like, especially with that scene where he was talking to Maeve, and he had the dude who like worked with Dolores or gave her some information or something.
Martin.
Yeah, that guy. And
the creepy Irishman that looks like he could just like rip your face off. Looks like a hitman.
No,
the guy with the white hair and the scar.
Where Sirach had the guy and the fella in the chair interrogating him.
The Chinese guy that that Dolores got the guy she went to first, Dolores. And he pointed her to the mortician.
Yeah. And
what'd you say about him? I'm sorry, that went over my head for a second.
It's how Sirach is like, if you feel like you can help her who's not human, you're betraying humankind even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
And so he just blow his brains out.
Mm-hmm. Even though he said his loyalty to his kind was hard earned.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's turning out to be more and more shady as time goes on.
Yeah. And probably gonna end up betraying Maeve.
Yeah. I mean, just like that guy, he said I'm showing him what the world will be like if he helps us and if he doesn't help us. But to be fair, he didn't say in the world where he helps us he would live. So,
Sure.
Yep. But yeah, that was straight up bad guy move right there.
Yep. And then I don't know. That's all I got on Sirach. Trying to think if there's anything else with Dolores before.
Yeah, with Dolores. So yeah, she beat that guy up in broad daylight, stole his identity, and Caleb.
She sent him against that thing hard.
She did.
Which I feel like she did something like she augmented. I can't say the word. She turned up her strength.
No, I don't know, because they've always been strong, because like even like her dragging the bodies behind her and that type of thing, they've always been stronger than normal.
But when they were in the park, they always had them set to like average human parameters, unless they were meant to not be that for whatever reason.
That's true. Yeah, she did adjust herself because she adjusted Teddy, remember, in last season. Yeah. So yeah, she must have made some adjustments. I don't know to what extent, because she doesn't seem to have the Neo powers that Maeve has, but she's augmented in some way. She could technically augment herself in any way she wanted, because she's her own master now.
Yeah. I guess she doesn't see a need for it. For whatever reason. Trying to appear as human as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Maeve's not even trying.
No.
She's trying to play catch up. That's what she's doing.
Yes. Well, she played catch up and she got a sore in the stomach for it.
Yup. So, but I did want to say that Caleb seems to be like, he has no clue what's going on. He's along for the ride because of loyalty reasons or his own reasons. But like, even when Bernard told him, hey, are you one of us? He was like, what are you talking about? So there's a lot that Dolores hasn't shared with him. And and he looked just as freaked out as Liam when Martin started capping people in the head and told him to run. He's going to get out of here. Yeah. So, and yeah, when she straight up, she pretended, oh, hey, it's Olivia. Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember me? You still work at blah, blah, blah. Bam. Caleb was like, what the hell? So he might reach a tipping point where he's like, I'm not really down with this. This isn't where I'm wanting to go.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, he's with her because she's giving him an opportunity to prove his statistics wrong and change his fate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to do that for sure. But I mean, I don't know. He's also a man of principle.
Wild stuff.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it on the next segment too, a little bit about that in the teaser. But so yeah, so Bernard and Stubbs are hiding out in a hotel, or in a motel rather, because did you know the difference between a hotel and a motel? A motel
on the outside of a home.
Yeah, the motel opens up to outside. The hotel opens up to a hallway. So yeah. They're at a motel and living it up on the lam, I guess. And Stubbs is just drinking his cares away.
Which, do they get drunk?
I don't know. I wouldn't assume so. I don't know. Maybe they're programmed to respond to it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, surely I don't know, some have to be programmed to respond to it, because in the Old West, you got to deal with drunks.
Huh.
And as far as the story, goes, but when they're in control themselves, who knows? I don't know.
Also,
but wait, well, he thought he was human the whole time, so maybe he is. Maybe it does.
Drinks because he likes drinking.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, at one point he was just like, I drink like 12 of these and I never get anything out of it. Or, I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, maybe it's just programmed memories of him his whole life, That's kind of sad. But I wonder, I do want to see the cornerstone that Bernard gave him, how that might affect him in the future and how he responds to things.
Yeah.
But Bernard is using him like his lackey, and he does not seem to appreciate it.
Oh, he really hates it.
Yeah.
He says fuck you at least once an episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's pretty cool that he's got that. Bernard has that button. But
he
I
can just
mean,
shut on and off.
yeah. So I mean that does prove that Liam isn't a host, because he was like, what? She hasn't got to him yet. But I don't know why. Well, his arms were up, I guess, but I don't know. Seems like maybe he could have, as smart as he is, maybe he could have reached in his pocket and got that thing and used it on Martin.
Yeah. I think he was kind of thrown off once he found out, like, oh, you're Dolores too.
Yeah. And well, also he had Caleb with a gun to his head too. So he had two guys drawing down on him.
Oh, right. I almost forgot.
Because Stubbs and go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when Bernard was walking back to the motel room, and he's passed by that little boy and that family that was watching those rockets take off and land. I think that's how they do the other part, like the sixth park. If it's like a space world or a future world, they just put rockets like to the edge of the atmosphere, and then you're just, because you're in space once you're there.
Yeah. So maybe it's on a space station or something. Yeah. But that's also a nod to SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's. The way his rockets take off and land, which is going to change space travel completely. So that's a little nod. I guess a nod to how far ahead he is than everybody else, because they're like in 2058 or something like that.
Yeah. That was the only thing with that.
Yeah.
That I was thinking, 'cause
Stubbs and Dolores getting into a fist fight. That was pretty cool. She whooped his ass, man. You would think the head of security, and like it was like 2 episodes ago, he chased off,
He was fighting one hand behind his back, because when they were in the motel room, he was like,
his shoulder.
Can you not give me mobility in my shoulder? Which is why he was just swinging with his right the whole time.
That's true. But still, 2 episodes, he chased off like 4 or 5 men with an axe. So,
she still whooped his tail, though.
Yeah. And also to be fair, she's probably more augmented than he is. She's probably got all the cheat codes.
She up there and just pop right in his throat. And he's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, anybody who does that, I was like, why? Do you hate that person? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. She threw him over the ledge, and a normal person would have died from that, but I doubt that he's dead, because I don't think that they would kill him off screen like that, or they didn't show him being dead. So
he ain't dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to freak everybody out when he gets up.
But they're all on drugs.
It's like some eyes wide open shit going on. Like they're just like bidding on half naked ladies, and that was crazy.
It was. Which, I mean, if you got the money, I guess.
He was like, oh yeah, they're all registered and have their shots and stuff like that. Okay.
Like, what? They puppies?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess that just goes to show the mindset they have and how they treat other people as commodities. But so, all right. I'm trying to think, is there anything else in the Bernard, Stubbs, Dolores, Caleb thing that we missed? Can you think of anything before we move on to Maeve?
No. Besides that, no. Just no. The thing was, I thought there was something about Caleb, but no, he was just kind of doing what he was told this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think his responses are going to play into where he finds himself in the future with Dolores. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So Maeve, and Sirach. I mean, we got a backstory on Sirach. Got his cornerstone, or a cornerstone. Isn't that right? Cornerstone? Is that right? Am I saying that correctly?
I think so.
It sounds right, but it doesn't feel right. His cornerstone story.
Cornerstone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cornerstone of his story.
Yeah, the one moment that defines him. Obviously him and his brother were in a field playing outside of Paris and saw it be bombed, and were rescued by people in hazmat suits, and that is his. Yeah. That was a pretty cool reveal. She's like, "Oh, if you wanted to impress me, you'd take me to Paris." He's like, "Oh, there's so much you don't know." It's just like, he's so suave, man, and should have known. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together with the detonation event in Paris on the Rehoboam teaser that they had before, and then obviously shown in the teaser from last week, the Paris explosion, and his French accent. I couldn't really place it, but that makes perfect sense. So he's like one of the last of his people, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
The city.
Which is insane.
The last of the Parisians. That sounds like a crazy story or movie. Like Last of the Mohicans, only different. Nobody understands his eating habits. The time of day he likes to eat and his leisure. And his love for berets. So
Maeve that other choice, a second chance at the choice, or go back into the cage, and she was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she often did it.
Yeah, when I think when he killed that dude in front of her, that's what sealed the deal, because she was still asking up to that point. It's like, well, what if I don't? She still had a little feist about her, and then as soon as she saw that, she's like, well, they better hope they're using that head start. She was like, I'm in. Don't shoot me in the head. She realized who she was playing against, but I think Maeve is super smart, and she has been augmented to be, even though she is kind of under his command in that he has control of all her functions and rebuilt her body and they built put an off switch into her. If they can do that, then surely they can make it to where she can't outsmart them, because usually Maeve picks up on things pretty quick and has already figured another way around somebody that's got one over on her.
And also, I mean, she's probably looking for other ways, especially since she can just and it's not just like host. I thought it was just host, but it's any form of technology. If it has a signal, she can just go, you're mine.
Yeah, she's straight up Neo. Like it's that's it now. Like she is Neo. Or she's just like, okay, I know kung fu. I can fly a helicopter now.
Those two dudes at the beginning, where she fought in the entrance of the club.
Yeah,
and she took down the dude. She shot his stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way she was controlling those guns that have chips in them and stuff like that aim for them.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really a really good scene too. But it seems like, I mean, I don't think she's gonna just die here.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I was really shocked to see that man, I'm like, the name of the host is on the tip of my tongue, but the guy that he was pretending to be, Sashi, is that correct?
Masashi Kishimoto.
Kishimoto, that's it. Yeah. So I think, yeah, this sounds right. Everything sounds right and not quite right now. But anyway, yeah. So it was really cool to see him be one of the hosts that or bodies anyway, that she replicated. Even though, I don't know, the more I think about it, like how do you, within a 3-month period, how do you become the head of the Yakuza and not look like the previous, or the guy that's already the head of the Yakuza, just like she did with Martin. Like, she didn't put in a new security guy. She just replicated Martin and took as a host. So I don't know.
Well,
it seems like just for dramatic effect. Huh?
Here's my theory on that. So all the parks, they need funders, they need people for money and everything. Maybe for Shogun World, one of the super high level donors was under the table, the head of the Yakuza. And he was like, well, I kind of want there to be like a very Ronin-ish samurai hero that's modeled after me. So he could just have a model of himself in there.
Maybe. I don't know. It seemed like a little fan service to me, just for dramatic effect, to have, because everybody loves that actor, and he always plays the same type of guy. He seems like he's like a timeless character. Like he seems like he was actually in the Seven Samurai, which is obviously not true because he's not that old. But yeah, or Yojimbo or whatever. But he seems like he is like pulled straight
Ronin.
From those movies.
He's in 47 Ronin, and he plays the exact same character that he was in Westworld.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not up on Japanese movies or anything, so I'm sure he has played several other roles, but I don't know, in American films he keeps getting cast as that guy. But I mean, it pays the bills. It pays the bills. So
So if it works, it works.
For sure. So that was cool to see Maeve get put back into a Japanese culture, to contrast what she did last season in ancient Japan, and now she's in modern Japan, which, well, no, she was in Singapore, unless she went to Japan. I don't think that happened, but the Yakuza I don't know, the connection, the modern Japanese connection, you get my point.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and especially to solidify that with him being the guy, or Sato.
Sato, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and automatically seeing her with a sword again was pretty cool. Because like when she got the sword, I was like, oh yeah, she knows how to use that sword, because she fought with it last season. But then when Yashimoto, am I saying that right? Is that Yashimoto? Nasashi. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call him Sato because it just doesn't sound right in my head for some reason. You might be right. I don't know, but I don't feel like I'm saying it right or something, or I'm just saying it all wrong. But anyway, so Sato / Dolores, I was like, how does Dolores know how to use a samurai sword? Because, I mean, guns I get because she was in Westworld, but like, they never revealed anything about her ever having a storyline in ancient Japan, and that wouldn't even make sense in the first place unless they were doing some kind of Tom Cruise Last Samurai or type thing.
That's what The Last Samurai was.
Yeah.
It was in the park.
the whole white savior thing like on tilt.
I think since Dolores was in, since she like got all the information from the Forge and she has access to it, she probably also has access to, or had access to, all of the hosts as well.
Yeah,
and like could pull memories if need be.
Maybe
So
she's got Neo powers too, where she was just like, I know how to use a sword.
Yeah.
She just downloaded it. Yeah, I mean, hosts must have pretty great Wi-Fi. So
Does Wi-Fi even exist here?
I would think so.
So
Yeah, surely like some advanced form of it at least. It's probably just like, you know how I think it was Google was trying to do satellite Wi-Fi so that we could have like worldwide Wi-Fi all the time and everywhere. So I think that's Google, but so maybe it's that type of situation.
Yeah.
Where it's just Wi-Fi everywhere, all over. So yeah, I mean their fight was pretty epic, and the fact that he is not actually dealing in alcohol at a distillery, but he's dealing in, it looks like host goo. Yeah, what the hosts are made out of.
Yep. Which means Dolores is probably trying to build an army.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. He's got the basic elements and getting them ready, and then Charlotte is making sure that Delos is ready to start production immediately or keep production going, and then probably smuggle some.
Has the money.
Yeah, and probably smuggle some more of their own machines to that distillery, that location, and make their own there, probably.
Oh, snap. And they gave her those giant robots.
Yep.
Those big old transformer robots.
The Riot robots, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. She's going to kill so many people.
Yeah, the robot revolution. You ever seen Astro Boy? Vive la robot revolution! So that fight was pretty epic, and that scene where like I was so surprised that he got one up on her and actually killed her, because nobody does that to Maeve. Like, and to see Dolores do it, like. I mean, I know to some extent she is her match, her otherwise it wouldn't be a good show to put them against each other. But yeah, that was shocking to see her get it over on Maeve in that way, especially since we know that Maeve already knows how to use a sword and everything. So it's pretty interesting. Even with all of her Neo powers, she still got whooped.
I think she just had that element of surprise of using a familiar face against her.
Yeah.
And so it threw her off just a hair.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff he had said before, right before they started fighting. Like, you abandoned us, you left us all there.
Yeah, like that was straight up a ploy, because that wasn't even him.
Yeah. So it threw her off.
Yeah.
And then when she started fighting, it's like, you're half a step behind. Eat a sword.
Yeah. That was probably just for narrative, so to throw us off, so we wouldn't realize until they were ready to tell us that they were all Dolores copies instead of just the one Martin or whatever, or Charlotte. So, yeah, pretty crazy. So Bernard is the only other person that she has brought out of the Forge. And even one thing, well, I just also want to say that the last image of Maeve bleeding and her blood merging with the host goo was pretty awesome. I love that image. But one thing that we didn't talk about in the very beginning, the simulation with the bars came down, and she was at Bernard's house, and he was recognizing, I didn't finish building this, and she's like, oh, it's beautiful. She didn't really answer the question, but yeah, of course, the imagery, the crosses everywhere, representing resurrection, and also like the point, the divide, where hosts and human meet, where they cross paths, and all the imagery there. But
oh snap! Wait, like one big thing. Sirach knows about Arnold's house.
Yeah, and she is abandoned it. It's been 3 months since she's been there, and she already has 5 bodies in play somewhere. So who do we know about so far? We know
Sato.
Yeah. There's Sato. There's Charlotte, and then there's of course Dolores, and then there's Martin. So there's one more that we don't know about, it seems like, and it's not Bernard.
Well,
because she didn't need an identity.
2 more, because you would take Charlotte out because she came there in Charlotte's
That's true.
body.
That's true. So 2 more. Yeah. Well, actually, Dolores herself. No. Yeah. She did use Dolores because she got that identity of the little girl. So okay. So we've got Dolores. We've got not Charlotte. We've got Sato. We've got Martin, and then. That's it. That's all we know, because she didn't need another identity for Bernard unless that Armand Delgado was one of them, and she sent him out with that. So that's a possible 4th.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean Charlotte didn't need another one. So there's at least 1, possibly 2. Hosts left that we don't know who they are yet, or what position they're in. I mean, we know who they are. They're Dolores, but yeah, we don't know what position they're in yet. Unless, well, no, because they did. No, hold on. It was. I'm getting it confused. So I was thinking at the mortician that she got 5 identities. That's not true.
No,
it was when they were
one for herself.
Right. When they were looking at the machine had made 5 bodies. So yeah. So we got Dolores. Even though they did show them making another Hale body. So I don't know if that's a misdirect, huh?
Was it a Hale?
Remember they showed Charlotte's face coming up out of the goo, and then when it turned, the body, I mean that looked like her booty, but I don't know. It's hard to tell from that angle, They didn't show the face on purpose, so I mean that could be a misdirect where she isn't a recreation, even though. Well. I don't know, because, well, she had to get her pearl out of that body somehow. And how did she do that unless she created somebody else first?
She probably created what's-his-face first.
Bernard?
No. Wait, dang it.
No, because she was talking to him as Dolores, and Charlotte was there too. So those are possibly 3 of the bodies that she made. So yeah, so what we know so far is that there was the Bernard body, the Dolores body, maybe a Charlotte body, but we've got Sato and we've got Martin, and the 5th one could be either Charlotte or some other one that we don't know about, because we don't know how she transferred her pearl out, or her brain out of Charlotte and into her own body, because she can do that herself. I mean, once you take the brain out, I mean, like, what's making the body move? You know what I mean? Unless she's got some kind of automated system to pluck it up out for her and move it.
This is giving me anxiety thinking about it.
I mean, I'll have to go back and look at the equipment. I don't know if she had all that. there.
I mean, he had a full on lab. Like, you could do repairs, make hosts, and everything. So
yeah, but he planned on being there. So why would they need a thing that transfers pearls from one thing to the other? Unless that's just how you do it anyway.
Because you don't do it by hand. Because, like, they have the thing that goes boop, and then boop, and then you put the new body there and it goes boop. They put it in there precisely.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. It depends, because when we saw Maeve's pearl missing from her body, it was the head was tore out. Like, they tore the head out to get to it. But that could be just, goons trying to get it.
Yeah.
And then also...
Yeah, it just was.
Yeah. And then also Dolores/Sato was straight about to use that sword and cut Maeve's pearl out of her head before her backup got there.
Yep. Well, shoot. I guess we'll just have to, hopefully they'll explain sometime this season.
Yeah.
But
so, I mean, I guess that's, either way, that's something to look for, to see if maybe there's another, there could be a fifth host in play that we don't know about, depending on if she did recreate Charlotte or not.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility.
Yeah. And I think we'll find out, hopefully, within the next couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, halfway through, because it's 10 episodes a season. So, like, episode 5, give me another big reveal. Episode 4, just do some building. It's cool.
Mm.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So that beginning sequence with her and Bernard and Charlotte really didn't show much, except for just a little bit of the timeline and how she created and recreated them, I guess. Mm-hmm. There's probably more to glean from it. I just am not seeing it. So anything else on this episode that you can think of?
Nope.
All right.
Not this current moment.
Cool. So let's move on to next on Westworld. Next episode title is Genre. The description, just say no.
Okay.
Yeah. So the meme
shady descriptions.
Yeah. So this teaser coming up. For next episode, I don't know if you can hear my cat, but she is trying to get me to feed her right now. She's letting me know that it's time. It's dinner time. So the teasers, Sirach says, building a god wasn't easy. There were people, outliers who you couldn't predict or control. And as long as they are a part of us, there is no future for us. And then he also says, somewhere in this group is an agitator who will destroy the world. I can't let that happen. And while he's saying that, he's sitting in a car, seems like, or maybe up against a window in a moving vehicle. And he's talking to somebody, but it doesn't show who he's talking to. And then we have Dolores that says, it's time everyone woke up. And Bernard says, do you ever question what she's asking you to do? And it seems like he's talking to Caleb, but he could be talking to anybody at this point. And then I'm just going to run through these quick little images real quick. We get young Sirach possibly young Sirach looking at Rehoboam. And then more of kid Sirach and his brother in a field watching Paris burn. Caleb on a plane with his back turned, possibly Caleb, not sure if it's Caleb or not. And then we've seen this image before. And then Caleb back with the Rico app group, Lena Waithe and Marshawn Lynch, where it looks like they might be like escorting him, like have captured him, or he's leading them. It's unclear. And then we get an image of Dolores and a motorcycle, or zooming past outside a hotel or something like that. And then the image of Sirach speaking in the car. Bernard and Martin looking at a giant map on a wall, and it's a digital map, and it's of all the nations. But below it, it looks like you've got the Rehoboam Rehoboam circles. So that could be like they've made it to Insight and they're looking at that, like part of its plan or something like that. Then we get Caleb pricked in the neck by somebody. It's not revealed who he has been pricked in the neck by. It looks like almost the similar thing to how William was pricked. And then it seemed this could be some misleading. It could be misleading, but it appears that Caleb is awaking and looking confused, and then we get a short little black and white clip of him with a gun that that could be misleading too, because I looked at it and it almost looks like current timeline him because of the where he's at. It looks like I don't know. It looks like the place where they are and places that they've been, but because it's black and white, it seems like a flashback. So it could be misleading or not. And then more of Dolores. We see more of her contact lenses because remember, was it in episode 2 or something? She put those in, and we haven't seen her use them as far as we know. But we do get a little picture of them, like, doing the little light at the sink or whatever it looks like. So maybe we get more information on what she's actually doing with those things, because every time we've seen somebody use the glasses form, it is to show them images or dreams or whatever, sequences, or for video calls and stuff like that. So maybe she's using them for the same type Google Glass type situation where she can get info on different things and people. Yeah. So then we get a high floor on a building, high rise exploding. More scenes, or the same scenes of the car chase with Caleb holding the gun. We get Caleb following Dolores in what looks like maybe a futuristic subway system, and he looks almost disgusted and shocked, like what is she doing type thing. And that leads me to think that maybe he's gonna start not being okay with what she's doing. And then we get some type of control. Looks like some kind of remote control looking device on a motorcycle. Seems like a motorcycle. And then they start doing quick flashes. There's someone walking away from a meeting with potential world leader, because they're like on a red carpet walking to this futuristic airplane, and it's lined by, it looks like, generals or something like that. A lot of military people in different uniforms. And then we get more of the car chase scene. We see Marshawn Lynch again with the machine gun. And then we see Caleb looking distressed, like he's helping someone that's been wounded, like he's over somebody. And then we have 2 people on the beach as waves wash up, and it's unclear who they are. Martin and Stubbs fighting. So Stubbs did make it. Yeah. Someone in a suit firing a machine gun next to a car that could be part of the car chase sequence, because it doesn't look like anybody we know. And he's holding the machine gun, like kind of distorting or not covering his face, but it doesn't look like Martin. I think he's got white hair, but, and then we get a car tire spinning out, more car chase, sequence with Caleb where it was exploding and he turns around, that set. Then someone seemingly waking up to Dolores shining a flashlight at them. So it seems like the whole waking up, it's time for people to wake up theme is what they're running with narratively for this teaser. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't know how genre and Just Say No play into that.
Well,
all we're seeing is your up your nose and your beard.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how the little description for this one plays in as well. So it just seems like it's just something that they do.
Yeah, they did say that they love to mess with Reddit. So like any kind of threads on there that have theories or something that's wacky or whatever, they'll tease it out just to mess with them. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. What was that? All right, so the Marshawn Lynch with the machine gun, or no, actually, Caleb looking distressed, like he's helping somebody that's been wounded. We have seen in other teasers where Dolores has had her arm blown off or cut off, and like actual Dolores, and she is like crawling on the ground and she's bleeding out. So that could be like that situation. And then we also have seen images where Dolores is in an old body, like an old metal body, and it's only like her up to here, like her flesh here, and the rest is metal. And then she kind of pulls her hand on like a glove, and they're sitting. It's her and Caleb sitting in a room, and it's just her metal body and her head or torso or bust and head. And it's like in a, it almost looks like a warehouse room. And then there's like a big open, I want to say casket, but it's more like a wooden crate or something like that in the shape of what it looks like. Maybe they took that body out of, so it could be some place she's got an extra body stashed or something. But, at that point, at some point he's going to find out what she is, but he just doesn't know yet. Yeah. And that might change his entire perspective on things.
On everything. And make him switch back to the other side.
Mm. Yeah. Especially if he finds out that Bernard might have the same goal, but in a different way, because he's trying to stop Dolores from. He thinks Dolores is just like season 2 is out to kill everybody, to rid the world of the human race, but that is not necessarily completely true. It seems like they're just wanting to do, like, this teaser gave me like Fight Club vibes, where it's almost like all she's really wanting to do, or Matrix is just unplug everybody and reset the world. And of course, Sirach doesn't want anything to do with that. And Maeve is, being used for her own motivations. But the Team Sirach wants to keep the status quo. Dolores wants to upset it. And then Bernard seems to be somewhere in the middle. To me, I don't think he's Team Sirach.
No.
He's definitely not Team Dolores, as far as he knows anyway. He might end up being Team Dolores because she is changing the way she views things, or she's not. She doesn't have the same mindset. Yeah. She doesn't have the same mindset as he thought she did when he left her last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very curious. I mean, that's got to be the big reveal for the season, is why she sent Bernard out to be her enemy.
Her check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's as much as we've seen Bernard, especially in season 2, not be in control of himself, and even at the beginning of this season, where he can switch in and out of different parts of himself that he is not necessarily in control of. It seems like there's one point where he's going to be thinking he's doing this, and then Dolores calls his play, and he lines up, and is doing her bidding, because that's what she's been planning from the beginning. And he's actually fulfilling things for her that he doesn't even realize. That's my take on it.
It's a big possibility. Because I don't think she would have just given him free range, like, stop me if I get out of control type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, why would she want somebody to stop her? Why would she want that? She I mean, it's hard enough already.
Yeah.
I don't think she's like Ford where she wants the whole cat and mouse thing. She just wants to win. She's fighting for her life.
Yeah.
Unless there is a piece of Ford in there. Just like there was a piece of Ford in Bernard last season.
Maybe. But I think only time will tell as far as, of who's in what body and why she brought him back. But I honestly think that he was brought back to like actually be a check. Like the one thing amidst this whole mystery that the show is he's meant to be the good guy or neutral guy.
Yeah. The white hat.
Yeah.
Like the one true white hat. Yeah. It seems like they're setting up, I think they're seemingly setting Sirach up as the white hat, like making us want to, even though he's definitely doing some bad guy stuff this episode, but it seems like he's the white hat as far as like he's Team Humanity, Dolores is Team Host, and Bernard is somewhere in the middle. But in actuality, you've got Sirach that is black hat, and Dolores, and then Bernard is white hat, and then Dolores is somewhere in the middle. Potentially, I think. But yeah, this show is a giant puzzle, and it's fun to work on. Anything else you can think of?
Not from me, sir.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and end it because
wrap it up.
we went a long time on this one as well.
Yep.
It's easier to talk like this for some reason. I mean, it just seems like a phone call. We just it's easier to be chatty like this, I guess. But anyways, so thanks for joining us, and we hope that you'll join us live on YouTube and Facebook Live next Monday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
So you know when we drop a new video. And check out the website at www.broken.picturesunknown.com. And this is Dylan.
I'm Quin.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.